All right. Hello, hello. Sorry. You know how coffee is. Got to put a little priority on the important stuff out there, guys. All right, there you go. There's the giveaway. All right. Sorry. I blame the coffee or the need to get coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna blame it on neuro. It's a neuro's fault. I wouldn't have such an affinity to coffee, was it? You know, neuro telling me all of its benefits and great things about it. um, All right. Yeah. So yeah, we had to take off yesterday. It was good actually that I had to take off fast. It was good that I took off when I did because literally within 45 seconds of me logging off yesterday, I saw Carol's chat, right? That was like, oh, he forgot to do the drawing. So I actually did do the drawing. If you guys stayed on the channel, you saw it was Debbie that won. Um, and then like 35 seconds after that, maybe not even 35 seconds, boom, my power went out. It was windy yesterday. Or it was only out for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm assuming like a tree branch went down or something or shorted something out. But I was like, it was like blink. I was like, wow, that sucks. Power out completely. My wife is like, why is the power off? And it's, typical marriage, right? It's like, did you not pay the bill? I'm like, no, it's windy. Like, come on, give me a break here, right? So, you know how it is. But anyway, so interesting morning. There's some pretty choice headlines out there. Russia is intensifying. The EU is like, no, we're gonna ban Russian oil. It's like, okay, go for it. But like, I mean, it's not like Russia doesn't know what your potential, thing is going to be. It's like, all right, you're going to ban oil. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And the biggest concern on people's minds right now is the price of fuel, and that's where the inflation is centered. Um, if we ban Russian oil, nothing that the Fed can do is going to make the price go back down again. Um, and yeah, it's just going to make things even more messy. Unfortunately, maybe it's time to move to Texas and put a pump in the backyard. I feel like that's the stage that we're at now. Um, and it's getting messier, right? Getting messier. I don't know if you guys saw it earlier. Where is it? Russia and China, right? Russian minister says we have a new model of international relations now. That's not always the not I don't think it's expected, right? Unexpected, unexpected. I would love to see what their new model is, but not really surprised at all. China is playing this like a master chess player, right? Russian oil gets banned. If Russia wants to sell it, but they can't, there will be other countries that buy it. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to, put sanctions on, you're going to tell a country that they can't buy it from another country? I mean, who has that right? Um, you don't have to buy it from them. If you want to block it and ban it, then sure, go for it. But remember, China hasn't really said much, right? They don't care. Um, Russia has everything that China needs, right? Energy resources and grain. That's what China needs. And India has already said too, hey, we'll pay in rubles. We got no problems with that, right? We got no qualms with that. And again, that's 35% of the population, so of the world. Um, I don't know. I don't think Russia's in that bad of a place. So that's good. On the bad thing, I made this one too. Pegging the ruble to gold prices is not being discussed at all. I love this one. I feel like this goes back to that intelligence. Thank you. I feel like that goes back to the intelligence of everything. I really feel like there was a thing down here. Where is it? Who said it the first time? I feel like this is like the U.S. being like, oh, guess what? They're doing this, right? I really believe right now. I mean, Russia knew the sanctions were going to come. Putin, he crazy, but he not dumb, right? So he knew that there was going to be sanctions. He knew what the result of the sanctions were, and it kind of had to figure out, where, you know, how will my economy be able to function when I have the sanctions? Because he knew they were coming. I mean, the sanctions is the go-to. That playbook has been used. Um, North Korea has it, and again, North Korea is now, you know, North Korea, I'm sure is, they've said it that they are advancing their nuclear program, right? Um, you know, they have a right to defend themselves. I think it's that's probably the scariest country in the world. But you know, now if Russia has nobody to sell things to, could Russia be like, hey, listen, you want some technology? Let's great. Let's be buds here. We'll give you some nuclear technology, right? We got to stop this U.S. aggression, right? That's the one country I would. Oh, that you don't want that guy to have nuclear weapons. That guy is even more insane than Putin is. So who knows where the heck this is all going? But um, and look at this. U.S. inflation data shows you that prices are still surging, right? And wages are still surging. Well, wages have to, right? And I think that's going to go up. But personal expenditures is up as well, right? Excluding volatile food and energy. But this is food and energy is kind of where a lot of it is. But 5.2%, 5.2% is 2.5 times. So, we're going to have to see something. The feds are going to have to say something. You're starting to see these things. You know, the week ahead, the Fed and BOE rates on the horizon. Will the RBA join in? And I think the answer is probably yes. Australia has made some comments, but their data's been really, really good. Canada's had it. Everybody's has it. This is what we're doing. Um, yeah, so we're getting right there. It's coming. So especially after today's data. Um, but I love some of these. Like dollar Swiss is reaching a 2-day high. Is the rally overdone? And then we've had obviously the big crashes in it. So but right now, again on the currency front, dollar CAD getting hammered. That's the biggie. Pound dollar is now tied as 118 on both, one positive, one negative. Again, all dollar weakness. Pound yen 103, right? And pound yen, it is just retracing the losses that we had. The dollar yen I think is the one to watch for because that's what we heard 130, 130, 130, and then it's like, well, it's probably more like 135, not 130. Like either of them doesn't really affect us too much. And ever since we heard that, it's kind of like, oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. And it's been kind of pushing back down. So you know, it did retreat, so it's not as high as it was. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Um, and then the rest is pretty much flat. I mean, dollar Swiss down just a little bit, right? Dollar yen not moving too much. Euro dollar up 25. That's not bad, right? Especially for Friday. When things are starting to kind of level out. Not horrible, but I think things are starting to prepare for next week. Is really kind of what we're, kind of where we're rolling to right now. I love I love fresh coffee, but I dislike super hot coffee. It's like my least favorite coffee ever. Um, Obviously being a weekend, right? Nothing tomorrow. Sunday night, I thought there was. Hold on, I think there's something on Sunday. Yeah, there's some inflation stuff right here. And again, we talked about, we talked about, um, next week could the RBA next. There you go. We're starting to get some inflation gauges. So it's smaller. It's not as impactful. But again, remember, this is based off of what matters in the U.S. There's not many people at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night looking at charts and trading, but it does affect the Aussie a bit. So again, there is this inflation gauge on Monday on Sunday night. I guess we can go into Monday. There we go. Monday, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but again, let's get all the small stuff out. That's what I wanted to do. We do have ISM manufacturing. Expect it to be a little bit better. So we do actually have a real data release on Monday. When I say real, it's a pretty decent one. ISM manufacturing is important. It kind of is where we're going. We've already talked, in some of the news channels, we talked about like a slowdown in manufacturing and confidence is low. And the slowdown in manufacturing is not only because of prices, but because of um, basically supply chain issues. We haven't seen supply chain issues yet, although we did hear Apple say, we are being cautious because of, potential supply chain. They're already looking at China and saying, all right, are they going to lock Beijing down? Are they not going to lock Beijing down? What's happening? And I think oil is also sitting there looking like, hey, you haven't locked down Beijing yet. You probably should have at this point if you were going to do it. If you didn't, that means demand's going to stay online. And how long will it take for them? Again, remember, Omicron is it's a quickie guy, right? It's 5 minutes and you're over it. Um, we're a week, 14 days into the first lockdown. If that lockdown starts to stabilize and they start opening things back up again, again that demand should surge back in oil, and we could potentially see 110 oil. So I don't want 110 oil. Even at Sam's Club yesterday, I had to fill up the car yesterday. Even at Sam's Club yesterday, it was 405. Right? I think our tax assistance is expiring. Um, I don't know. In reality, I think instead of sending $33 billion to Ukraine, it's like, hey, listen, why don't we do a federal gas tax instead of releasing more and just putting more supply out there at inflated prices? Why not just give us like the 50% off on the taxes, right? Or give us the. I mean, again, I guess it's not 50, but give us like a 50-cent tax holiday for like a month or two, right? That would be a better. I mean, I feel like that would be a better use of the money, versus releasing a million barrels into overly inflated prices, right? So, And I don't even know how that works. I wonder, is the U.S. selling? Is it on the market to be sold? Hmm. How about to shoot James that message? So when we release it from the strategic reserve, are we selling it on the open market? Meaning, are they making money off of releasing it from the strategic reserve? Hmm. Not sure about that one. It's a good question. Like I said, I think James will know that question. I'll have to ask him about that one. I wonder if they're releasing it for sale. Kind of like how when they, the banks are too big to fail, the warrants that they bought, they made buku bucks off of that saving, right? The taxpayers paid for it, and then the government made the profits of it, right? Their warrants and when they saved it, I think they bought, who was it, Bank of America, like $6 or $7, and then they sold their final shares at $12, so they doubled their investment, but they didn't lower our taxes or give us back taxpayer money that year. So I'm wondering if that's what they're doing with the strategic reserve. Cut back the whole military budget to offset grocery and gas costs. Yeah, they're all, unfortunately, Ernest, they're only going to get more money from this whole thing. It's funny how one side blames the other side, but then when it happens on their watch, it's like, oh no, we got to do this. We got to produce more, even though the U.S. is we're like 100 times larger than the next 5 nations or 10 nations in a row. Yeah, but if we give away, 500 or what is it? I know that first time, what did we do? Give like $80 billion away or something like that. It's nice that we're just giving weapons away and not getting anything back for it. When we could have just said, you know what, we're going to send a tank in. If they send a tank in, we're going to send a tank in to defend the Ukraine. We could have defended the Ukraine, and it would have probably cost us a whole heck of a lot less than us just giving them free stuff. So, but hey, what do I know? I don't know anything, right? All right, let's go over in the charts. Let's start with Aussie. Where is it? Aussie, 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 Aussie. There we go. All right, so we talked about a continuation. We hit the 23.6 one time, and then you can see that it drove through. It didn't give us a full Harry Potter. It literally just dropped down and came right back up again. We were looking for targets down at 70.38. It didn't make it. Again, it made it down to what, 70.56. So we missed it by what, 15 pips. It didn't really give us the entry though. It did give us the base and pullback, but again, straight down, straight up. We're looking for a little bit of a basing, a little bit of a pause. We didn't get it, and then it just came back up again. So now we can actually change the fibs, move them down a little bit. Um, we'll pull this off. I still think that is target. Um, this level, you can see again a lot of basing and a takeoff point. I would say right now, again, this zone up top is still good. The 72.11. This is not. This one ended up having its little battle, but it didn't last very long. We'll pull this up. I don't love this top one. I like when the green is high, not the red. But right now, it looks like that's where the reversal was. There's our confirmation. This is a potential level for Sunday, right? There's a potential level if we can pull back up on Sunday. And again, with the RBA talking, again, maybe that gives us the option to, again, if they, inflation is not as bad as what they say, they could kind of take this and roll this back to the downside. Um, yeah. I was gonna say Ernest, and also I was thinking it's not only gas costs, it's grocery costs. Just like you, my friend. I'm tired of looking at, meat and food and being like, wait a second, this used to be half the price. Why is these like bars that I get? They used to be like 7.50 or Sam's Club does weird prices sometimes, right? I think it was like 7.56 or something like that, or 7.89 or something like that. It was less than $8, right? These like chocolate protein bars I used to get. Now they are 13, almost $14. Like they're like 13.89 or 13.74 or something like that. I told Melissa, I was like, "What the hell is this?" I was like, "This is twice what we used to pay for it." She's like, "Yeah, everything is like that now." So I was pissed. I was like, "Double, like double." Yeah, I'm definitely not voting for the Fed. But anyway, it is bouncing off of a level, so we'll see what it does. There's a little bit of stabilization down right here as well. Again, could this provide a 1030 reversal? It could, sure. Let's see if that happens to be a 23 as well. It's a little deep. It's a little beyond the 23, but it's definitely a level sitting there. So, I'll change this in the yellow if you're really looking something. Again, Friday, I'm not, the biggest proponent of trading at all. But we know that, again, 1030 reversal is extremely popular, especially on a Friday. And again, it's kind of getting close. If we can get down there just a little bit more, it needs to move in the next, 40 minutes. It needs to move 7 pips. Absolutely, 100% can do that. That's not necessarily going to be an issue whatsoever. Um, oops, hold on. What did Melissa just send me? Hold on one sec, guys. She sent me a message from the other room. It's kind of like, hey, she's probably like, shut up, you're talking too loud. Come on, you can load. What did she say here? Oh, she's at 10 o'clock. Okay. Um, Um, so again, I think there's an opportunity for this one to reverse. And again, this would be some dollar weakness. We'll see if it continues into the weekend. Again, this is the dollar strength as the U.S. trader comes online. But with 10:30 being in the reversal, that's what you need. What did you just send me? This is, all right. What is this? Oh, okay. All right, cool. My mom got good news. I don't know if I told you guys or not. Mom went in and had a growth moved Monday for breast cancer, and then they were checking the nodes around it to see if like it had spread at all because it was stage one, and it looks like they just got a negative response. It was not. It didn't spread anywhere. So looks like they it was like stage one. They called it like super early. So looks like mom was okay. Um, all right, also again, we've already been up here once, and it's kind of already pushed down again. It drove back up to the same level of sellers, and again, I can't draw another red box on top of it. It's kind of the same thing. It looks very similar with it driving back down again. The difference is, again, this is the yen, not the dollar. It, again, the Aussie is going to have the same type of strength. If we're having weakness over there, we're going to have weakness here as well. Does it push back down? Probably. Again, before we talked about 92.20 being the target, it got close. It got to 92.35. This one for me, I probably continues to dwindle down a little bit. Um, Today, it's not. Yep. Thank you guys. Yeah, we're definitely happy about it. So, but yeah, it was a kind of an in and out surgery. Melissa was a trooper. Melissa actually went with my mom. I had the kids. Um, so Melissa and Kip stayed with my mom that night. And that's why I had Kip on Monday. And yeah, my sister actually flew in from Austin. She all the crazy storms in Texas. She couldn't actually fly out on Monday. They canceled her flight. Um, she had to come out on Tuesday instead, so she wasn't quite here for everything. But when she got out here, Melissa came back home again. So Melissa's been the she gets the MVP of the week. I was on kid duty for the whole week, so I wasn't over there as much. But yeah. So mom is doing mom's doing good. Um, yeah, we'll see how it continues. But yeah, she was like, my sister got. I guess you guys in Texas on Tuesday had like, or Monday had high winds, lightning, and hail is what the report said. But Southwest canceled her. So anyway, I think this one continues to roll back down again. Is it going to provide enough movement for today? Probably not. Again, it is a Friday, so it's always you know there's less movement. Remember that the Aussie, that market is you know right now that market is Aussie market is obviously closed. Yen market obviously closed. This is just running through a proxy right now, right? It's the proxy of the yen with the dollar, with the overall stock market. So is it good? Yeah. Yeah. But going into the weekend, I would look at this level again, this 93.32. If we whatever we do, if we stop in here and then we kind of gap up into there, it could be an interesting spot. Remember, with that news on Friday on Sunday night, there is opportunity for us to trade this one. Is it a blockbuster? Should you expect 8 million pips out of it? No, no, it's going to be a smaller one, but it could provide some opportunity. So if we continue to drive down into any of these levels, whether it's the 92.20 or even up in this level here, the 92.46 level, this could be an interesting long on Sunday night. Okay, so that could potentially be, where is it? It'd be May 2nd. No, it'd be over here. Something along those lines. We could get something along those lines, right? May 1st. So um, it depends on where it stops. Is really where I'm kind of getting at. Euro pound. So euro pound dropping. I think this one is justified. Again, we had that big rally up when everything looked great. Now Russia's shelling even more than they were before. We're seeing it pull right back down again. Um, Again, we're going to pay for rubles, but we're going to outlaw oil. Okay. So I would say watch out. Again, we do have an alert down here. That alert is sitting behind. Unfortunately, I can't grab it. 83.73. Again, we have an alert there. We're looking to take over this kind of Harry Potter move. With it coming down and basing, again, every time it probes down, we're cool looking at that one. Again, if it crosses it Sunday night, I don't know. We'll see what the fireworks look like. That's going to be kind of the big question is, all right, so what happens on Friday night? You know, or on Saturday night? But I think overall, again, we're looking for shorts below 83.73. We're looking for price to come down. And again, overall profit targets for this one are going to be 83.29, right? We're going to put that there. We're going to put that there, right? So we got a lot of room to run, but we really want it to come down. We want it to base in here. If we could end the week here, I think that gives us a great ability to kind of gap lower, come back up. And that's the ideal situation for me. This comes down and we End the week right here. We gap lower. Absolutely, when it pulls back up again, I'm looking to take this one short down to 83.29. So it's kind of set up. Not today. I don't, as you can see, it's starting to chop back and forth. Their market closes in 2 hours. It's going to run out of speed really, really quick unless there's any major headlines. But we can't prepare for headlines. Euro yen. So Euro yen. We talked about it going long from 36.52. We were sitting kind of right here yesterday, and we kind of pulled up, found those sellers, pulled back down, kind of pulled back up, found those sellers again, and pulled back down again. We're a little bit lower. I think we still wait for the 50% on this one. There's not really too much else that we can do with it. Um, it looks similar to the Aussie yen, but this one is a little bit better supported. It's an easy draw bottom to top, and it's an easy 50%, and there was a decent pull off of it. So it's kind of a level where it's like I'd love to say this one has changed, but I think that this one is pretty much the same scenario, right? Same scenario. So there's not too much we can do with it. Um, Again, if you wanted to set an alert, you could for your direction. But we do have one Harry Potter, or not a Harry Potter. We do have a short coming up top at 138.30, and then again we have this long here at 136.52. Euro dollar. There's what we had with the euro dollar. I mentioned it earlier. We knew we had we had news coming in, right? 5 o'clock. It hit it, and again that news was. Let's go back to here. Right here, the flash estimate, right? It came in as expected. They adjusted it down. It wasn't as bad, which means this should have adjusted as well. So it actually accelerated over that time. Um, and again, unfortunately, this was it drove it all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, and then was like, news is in, right back down again. So same trade. It actually hasn't. It didn't trigger its piece here. I think with everything that we're seeing, I don't know. I mentioned yesterday. I still like this one short. It's at 105. I would love I'd love to see parity. Um, I think something big would have to happen over the weekend for it to actually happen. Um, yes, buddy. Yeah, he's playing with. Kip is now in the exerciser behind me. So for Melissa's meeting at 10. So hit the buttons. Hit the buttons. There you go. Look, you did it. You did it. He's all smiles now. He started not bear crawling, but he does like a bear crawl where he goes back up on his hands and his feet. It's pretty funny looking. Um, for a kid that can't crawl, but he's going to be bear crawling pretty soon. Anyway, like this one short still. I really like to see what happens, and you can see there's a lot of buyers right here at 105. I should probably mark that off. Let's mark 105. 105 style. Change it black. 1.05. You can bold that bad boy. I guess that's bold. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so 105 is going to be a big one. We'll see as this continues to push over. The chart will look a little fancier with it. But again, 105 is a big psychological level. Obviously the fives and zeros are, but it is one that once we get under five, people are like, "We're going to parity. We're going to parity." So we'll see if we can hold. I kind of like this one actually, with the Fed talking next week. Kind of like to see a little bit of a piece here. We do have one zone down below, but if we can break through this 105 on Sunday and kind of bounce up, I think this is a short. I'm always curious next week. I don't know. I don't think we can hit parity next week. 500 is a lot, but I wonder if we can get to like 103, 102, maybe 102.50 next week. This is one of those trades where I'm tempted to put in a position Sunday night for this one for short, right? Just seeing massive amounts of dollar strength coming in. So, yeah, this is probably going to be my week long trade next week. Maybe other one in gold, but I think euro dollar next week is a short. Okay, going into Sunday night. Pound yen. So pound yen, it came back up. We yesterday morning right before we talked, we knew we had a level there, and it kind of based. It drove deep into it, and then kind of went up and just stabilized itself. It did make one attempt higher. There would have been no trade entry at 5:30 this morning. Again, it is a reversal time. It was kind of grinding up. So I mean, if you wanted to just basically take it because it's 5:30, I guess it was fine. But right now, I'm looking for this one to continue to deteriorate. We mentioned the yen and a couple other pairs. Looks like it's kind of closing out the week with a little bit of strength. Pound yen is up. I mean, we're up now 69. It was more than that before, but you're seeing some pound strength over here. So obviously the yen is coming in with a bit more strength to close it out. This pair only has another 2 hours to go. Probably draws back. I just don't feel like there's going to be enough movement in there. Well, I guess not enough movement. I mean, even if we just pull back to the buyers here, you're talking about 75 pips. The reality is, can we move 75 pips on a Friday when this market closes? Um, I really feel like no. I really don't know if we can get enough movement. But again, set yourself an alert. 102.11, a nice little drop here. If we do see yen strength come in, I don't know, maybe they get funky and do an intervention this weekend. Be like, you know what? Let's just intervene. It sounds good, like a good idea, right? Then it drives through, but really until we get to 162, I'm not looking for a great setup or a great sell. The other area up top for me is also 164.40, especially going into the weekend, right? If for some reason we come over here and then open up in it, I think that's a decent area to take a, again, very strong push out of it. So I think that's a decent short. Pound dollar. Pound dollar just literally banked right off to 50, right? Um, I think this one has the ability to go lower. Again, I think there's a lot of profit taking happening with the dollar right now. Again, pound is a little bit strong, but I think we probably just tagged the 23. Yeah, we just can't. We just bounce off the 23. So, if we can roll this one, I would be okay taking this one short. We don't need this little level here. Provided a little bit of resistance, but not much. Um, I would say, if this is able to break through this level here, right? If we're going to continue to see, dollar strength roll back in, I'm okay with a small position here, right? It's rather small risk. 12, 12, and 3, right? So I think that's what we have. Um, Again, if it goes back up again, I do think that 50% it is now confirmed. It is not the freshest. It has been hit two different times from the original. It did push it literally to the brink. There is another little zone higher. So I would say zones into the weekend. Again, if we gap up into the 125.92 range, probably a decent short. If we come up a little bit higher in this level here, up to 126.20, also an area where I'd be willing to take a short. So I think both of those are good. Um, you could technically take either one. Um, but right now, again, I think we go dollar strength next week, but I think the pound is of the two playing a dollar strength move. I think the euro is an easier target to go against than the pound will be because again, Europe is in close proximity. If anything crazy happens, Europe will take the brunt first, followed by the pound. If you're playing a strong dollar, always go after the weakest of the two. And again, the euro would be the one that you want to go after, not necessarily the pound. Way you can look at that is again, look at this and say which one is weaker. Obviously, the euro is weaker, getting to levels where it may continue. If you're going to play strong dollar, don't play against strong pound. Play strong dollar versus weak euro. It's a much better way to increase your odds. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD pulled back. We talked about breaking through this level, but there wasn't really enough, and it did. It pulled back to that same level that we had marked. It came lower, ran into the next level. Again, it wasn't a 1 to 3 in there. It was less than that. That's why we didn't draw any trades on it. And now it's basing at that same level. Um, it's doing a pretty decent pullback. You can see that the 23 didn't really provide much. I mean, it kind of hit once and then kind of Harry Pottered off of it and came down again. When you look at this again, very easy. It's what I would call the simple draw, right? The low to high. There is right around the 50 right here. There is a level, right there, and it was a level that was kind of, you can say it was kind of tested, right? But I think that's really where you see the next kind of roll point, right? This 126.75 or 126.78. Oh, why is my hold on one sec. Oh no, they're doing song. Thank God. We just found out that there was a girl at Jen's school that got COVID too. We got COVID everywhere right now. One of my players' families, everybody but my player has COVID, and then we just found out yesterday one of the kids at Jen's school has COVID. So they're like, "Hey, watch out for the next 5 days." It's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this crap. Anyway, 126.75, 78 is a level that I'd look for the CAD to reverse on. Again, right now, I think it should be lower than what it is. We're seeing oil, again, pressuring $2 higher back up to 107. Again, bringing CAD strength in as well as the good data out of CAD. We had the Canadian day this morning, the GDP numbers month over month. It was supposed to be 0.8, came in at 1.1. So much better than expected. Again, another one of those positive data points for the CAD. And they've already started to raise. I think, again, I think the momentum is going to stay on CAD side. It's just Again, I would say this is a strong CAD, strong dollar, so it's a little bit more difficult to play. But I think a lot of people will have this one kind of targeted this level of kind of where it explodes off of, and you maybe even maybe shrink it a little bit. I mean, we could probably shrink it down probably in there. I would say there's a base and the takeoff point is higher, but if you wanted to shrink it a little bit, um, it's 20 pips risk. It's not really a lot of risk, but the 50 will be a big one because again, it is a confirmed level of buyers that kind of took us off, right? So 126.78 is a one to watch out for. If you wanted to reverse the other side as well, you can see that it is kind of pulling up again. So we'll see whether the dollar is able to maintain its strength today, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people step in. It's already, they've stepped in kind of before. 50, I'm not really worried about for the most part at that level. But if it does come all the way down to this level, right? If we do come down and tag this 126.78 here, now all of a sudden you'll see that the 50 just happens to be right where that same basing point was up top again. So it is going to be kind of one of those levels that we want to watch out for, right around the 127.80, right? If it comes down and bounces, the 50 is now that old level where it had one, two, three, really four hits, and then five is what Harry Pottered it down. Okay, so that level, the 127.80 has significance all over again. If this is where it comes down to. Now, dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss is just kind of chopping sideways in here. We talked about maybe getting a Harry Potter higher, but you know this was one of those ones I wasn't super interested in. Again, it came off the 23.6 and then hit it again, and then kind of hit it again and hit it again, and then finally broke. Right? I mean, it's how many times you got to hit the 23.6 before you're willing to admit that it's bad. Um, for this one, for me, it's funny that when you see the articles, you have oh, there you go. So consumer confidence was bad. It falls. Um, when you get things like this, right? Right? We're at a 2-year high. Is the rally overdone? Right? Trying to let you know it's like, well, wait a second. We got this and this. Like it can go higher, and then it reverses. So dollar Swiss, I think we're still in the same range. I mean, really, from if we talk about from where the peak is, we're talking about 50 pips is a decent, it's a decent day's worth of movement. Um, you know, again, it was rallying higher, rallying higher, rallying higher. Now it's kind of like, all right, now what do we do, right? Russia's getting a little bit nuts again. We'll see where it goes. I'm not concerned about the 50 at all. If it does continue to push lower, not concerned about this. I'm kind of looking for this one to drop down. For me right now, the best level I have is 96.32. Strong, again, original level, pullback, and a strong explosion off of it. There's not a whole lot in there. It is about 75 pips away. But with next week talking about Fed changes and all that kind of stuff and non-farm payroll, there's all kinds of data next week that is potentially strong dollar. I'm kind of hoping that we do one of these. Whoops. We kind of do one of. No, why is it? Oh, you know what? Let me pull this off. There we go. That's what I thought I had on there. I kind of want it to come down here. So next week we have that data, right? That's kind of really what I want. What's the Swiss data? Consumer confidence. Consumer confidence is 3.6. So that again, that's enough. Like I said, there's a number of things like consumer confidence here, all this data down here. We got, jolts over here. So I think there's a lot of data. I would really like this to fall over the next 48 hours. But again, for me, this 96.32 is kind of really what I'm looking for. Hopefully it puts itself in a good area on Sunday that we can find some type of contract in there. Um, Hopefully it lines up and we're able to get some, call spreads or some knockouts or something in there that we get some protection. I think it'll just be a cheaper way to play it than the binaries. Dollar yen. We talked about it before. Level of basing, racetrack trade right below it. We're looking for this one to drop down. Again, we hit it a second time, so now we have 2 touches. The next one through will be a third, so each time it hits it, it weakens it even more. 1 to 3 is only sitting right there. You can see that it's beyond. It's before the 61.8, which again is actually just a tad higher than what the profit target is going to be. So, this one still holds, waiting for it to come back down again. Yen strength. We'll see if we get it today. I'm kind of hoping that this one doesn't go to entry this week. I'd like this one more to hit on Sunday. As I said, in preparation for the dollar news next week, I'm kind of hoping that we see a little bit of dollar strength so that way the news comes out and we can get the dollar move up. I'm hoping it doesn't all move in ahead of time. It could. It absolutely could, but I'm kind of fingers crossed that it doesn't. I don't want to take this trade today. I would like this to, take this trade Sunday night, if anything else. All right. But 129.56. Um, as you can see, yes. Yeah. As you can see, it is risk off. Bitcoin is down 1.5%. Again, kind of stabilizing. 40 is the magic number here. Ethereum chart looks almost the same, right? Except instead of 40, it's 3,000. 3,000 is sitting right there. Again, very similar, right? There's 40. There's 3, right? It's on the lower end of the curve. Again, it's risk off today. I would assume Sunday night, Monday for any of the crypto traders out there. I'm assuming that this will be a buy, Sunday, Monday, once we have some more certainty. They don't want to take it going into the weekends because you don't know what's going to happen. The meme stocks, AMC, GME, both up. Dogecoin also, the other one meme up. It says it's up 1.8%, but is it really? We marked this off. It hasn't broken yet. We talked about this level. It supported itself, but again, if it breaks, 120, 1248 is our target to the downside. So it's up, but it's not really up, right? Not really. Bonds taking a little bit again down from where we closed, but you can see that it has rallied up today, and overall, that's kind of what we're seeing with the indices. Um, let's go across the oil. Oil being up here, continuing to rise. Look at this. Had a level, hit it, pulled back down again, broke through, and then Harry Pottered it higher. I was really hoping that oil wasn't going to take off and go crazy today, but again, the next level we have is really up here, 108.50. Wow, I really don't want it to be 108.60. I really don't want 108.60 for the weekend, but right now there's a small hiccup at 108.30. But man, it's up $1.88 already today. Not how I want to go into my weekend. So, I'm trying to think, is there a pullback that I'd like here if I go long? Hmm. I'm not as concerned about that level. Both those wicks are there. It's basically a double bottom. It's a mirrored wick. Not as concerned about that. Um. Hmm. Hmm. That's an interesting one. Let me throw a horizontal line right here. It's 107.90. So that'd be another 70-cent mover. So that'd be up 240 today. The daily ATR is $5 right now. So yeah, so 240 up would actually not be that much of an issue. Hmm. We got about 15 minutes before 10:30. I'm curious to see if that one holds or if profit taking will come in at 10:30 and roll this back down a bit. I don't know that we'll be able to get much lower than this, but again, it's going to be headlines. Consumer confidence being lower definitely hurts that a bit, right? Again, consumers are not confident. They're not going to try to spend as much money. They're going to try to save. If they can save at the pump, they're going to do it. God, can I really get up that far? Hmm. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know. It definitely has the ability to move that much. Again, we have, I mean, really, we have, I'd say $2, $3 more. If we take a 50% off the 525, you're looking at about 250, 70 cents higher on this one right now. 70 cents brings us right up into that range, right where that orange line is. To go up to 108.60 is $1.50. So that would be what? That'd be 330. So maybe 60% of the overall daily ATR. It's well within range to get that high. Not how I want to go into the weekend, but it's absolutely on the cards that it could go there. Um, hmm, I'd be cautious with it. Again, I'm curious to see at 10:30 if this reverses back at all. If it doesn't, then I think 108.61 is on the cards for today. I don't want that, but I don't know. Let's hope. Natural gas. We ended up getting that Harry Potter. We talked about it, yesterday. Yesterday morning we were sitting here, 9:30, 10 o'clock. We talked about if it comes through in Harry Potter's. It did. This one, not so much, but once it based here, that was your trigger. There's your entry. And then again, all the way back down again to the 6-8. Again, quite a risky one that you guys, if you're playing natural gas right now. Headline wise, I don't know that we'll get too many more headlines today. I bet you probably stabilizes out. Definitely not one I'd want to hold into the weekend. I think it's extremely risky to hold into the weekend. Um, Curious to see where that came to. Yeah, it came right up on that drive, and look, it found this level of basing right there. Right? Actually, it's there. There's your level of basing. Again, 2 touches. This is the 3rd touch off the 50. So it looks like we'll get a little bit of a reprieve. I don't know if we'll break through 680 though. The target is out. Let's move this hair powder so you can see again. Look at that. It came right off, and we talked about this gap. It came right off the gap as well. Well, the good news is natural gas can come back down. With being this parabolic move into a 50 and an area of supply, which was confirmed right here, I think this one can come back down. It looks like we can get down to 685. I don't know if we can break much lower than that. I think breaking below this again is a gap, but it did stay. It did stabilize and then explode at 8 o'clock this morning. Um, I'd say it might be. I'd say bearish today, but I don't know that I'd take a short now. I mean, if you're taking the short up top, I think you're okay. It's obviously late now. This was a 9 o'clock in the morning kind of short. Um, I think it comes down today. But again, I would definitely not hold this over the weekend with all the talk of we're going to cut gas off. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. So, eh, if you're in, good for you. Nice grab. If you're in, excellent, excellent work. Um, again, target would be down here. Let's change this to a target first because that's really what it is now. Let's see how far this one. How good of a position is it? Let's see. Looks like to overall target, it's about a 1 to 4.5. 1 to 3 is only sitting right there, 3.02. So doesn't need to move much further. So, but if you guys grabbed that one, excellent job. I did not catch that one. Gold. Gold is obviously pulling back. Came up to the 1920. We're pushing through, and you can see, obviously, if you had taken that one off of that level, again, confirmed level right here, we'd marked it off before the 1920. The 907, again, it hit it, it started the base through, and it's like, yep, it's breaking. And then when it came through, again, this was a fast touch. It's probably actually, it's out of it's 1 to 3 right now. I like this high. I'm cool with this. Let's see. It's probably out of its 1 to 3 at this point, though. 1 to 3 is right there. Yeah, so it's definitely out of its 1 to 3. So I kind of like this high. I don't really need this level anymore. It's not basing enough in there. Um, let's see what we got here. Let's find out where the magic numbers are. There's a little zone right in there. Actually, I guess there's a little one off the 50 as well, but yeah, as I mentioned in the AX, I'm looking for this as a trade next week. As you can see, we talked earlier this week about taking this one short. I mean, it's lower than what it was. I mean, really, once you got down here and started to confirm the top side, you needed to be out. I'm looking to do the same thing again next week, especially with the data that we have next week. What? Here's your hand. Here, get this hand. Here, you want this? Go ahead, eat it. Another week long position. Again, this was we talked about it yesterday. I forget how many it was, but it was like 6 knockouts and like 3 or 4 call spreads that you would hit profit on. Same thinking next week. Sunday night, start looking at the knockouts. Look to get short the knockouts next week. Reason why short is because with all the data that we have, here I'll switch back over to it. There you go. ISM, Aussie data, JOLTS data, New Zealand data. Again, a lot of raising. Look, Australia's supposed to raise on Tuesday. Then we have non-farm employment change. We have FOMC statement. They're expecting a 50 right now. It's forecast in. So again, the market will start preparing for this. This is a gold negative base trade. FOMC conference. So, Powell can be like, well, we didn't want to put the economy into a recession. So we're front loading it, which front loading is on the second raise is not really true. Then we have another raise for the pound. This will be 5 in a row. And then we have non-farm, which we'll see how crazy non-farm gets. We don't have any forecast for that yet. So again, next week, I think early on, hey, stop. I think you look to go short gold on Sunday night. And again, I think we blow these. I think we blow through a bunch of them next week. Silver also, but again, silver's already back down to the 23. You can see it is negative. It's not following gold today. I'm wondering. I think next week we can get the 22 in silver. Again, all the experts had said, Some experts we know said 60, 60, 60 by year end, and we didn't make it to 60. We made it to 26. Um, Actually, I guess that's not true. We made it to, yeah, 26.8. We almost made it to 27. We'll just call it 27 to be nice. Um, it did make it to 60, so like some of the people said. I think 22. I think we hit 22 next week with all the data out there. Pretty confident that we end up hitting that one. So there's unfortunately not many good ways to trade this through Nadex, but just stay in gold, you'll be fine. Let's check the indices out. This is the rare day that the VIX is down. VIX is down 277, and all the indices are red across the board. Okay. I was wondering if we get a little bit of a reversal, but it's purely risk off today. There is, you know, they want nothing to do with risk. Let's see. 9, 9:15, 9:30 was this red candle. Nope, not really. What? Oh, here we're gonna pull the microphone again. Not really in anything. So I think target today is 41.48. What? Here, take this. Take this. What is that? Everything goes right into his mouth. Yeah, it looks like at 10:22 we do have some buying at 20 or 43. What is it? 42.14. If we're gonna have a reversal, it's got about 8 minutes to get down there and take a bank off of it. Maybe it comes in at 10:45, 11 o'clock, being a Friday. That's the only opportunity. If it breaks through this, again, I think we go lower all the way down to 41.49. No opening trade setup on this one. It was 9:30. It was a little bit low. It wasn't. It was between the gap where the gap was initiated and this level. So again, 0 for 1 so far as the 15-minute strategy goes. Nothing there, and even on the pop, I wouldn't have sold it from the top either. But yeah, not really concerned. But yeah, it looks like it's definitely risk off. VIX is down, and everybody's like, get out of the market. Um, we'll see. NQ. So NQ, we talked about. So yeah, there was the initial push at the open. It came all the way up. It grabbed that level, and again, I need to adjust this on a 15. Grabbed it, initial spike, and then pulled back down again. So for those of you that were in the Nadex session, I talked about, at the open, if we break below this black line, that was the Globex low, and there would be a trap there. Well, there's your Globex trap. Here, I'll move this back so you can see it. There's your trap. If you didn't do it in the futures market beforehand, saying we just broke the Globex low, I need to be fast in this one, I need to get out. They shorted, immediately got stopped out, and now it's pushing right back down and with its downward trajectory. Look at that opening candle; it's awesome. So this is one that I would have to say. I mean, we kind of telegraphed it at 9 o'clock today. This would qualify for the setup. We literally pushed down at 9:15 into that level. Again, with Nadex, I don't care that it dropped below. It doesn't necessarily matter. If we take our long, here's your long trade. And again, it ended up going all the way up to 1 to 5, but 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So you're instantaneously out of that position to the top side. Anybody, what are you doing? Why are you eating that? Why are you eating that? Yeah. So I would say this one is very similar. Unless we get a magic reversal coming in, there is a level there, but we've already kind of breached it just briefly at the open. There's a little bit of selling right down here. I would say that this is probably, if we don't reverse off this 10 o'clock, and again, we've already seen kind of the pop go. I don't think there's, I don't, hold on. Stop, you can't pull that. I think it's a very hard case right now with the buyers here. Very, very hard case to just suddenly go long for no reason. Why are you fighting me? Stop. Here, play with this. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Here, take this. Ow. He's pulling the headset around again. Gotta love when he does that. Buddy, what are you doing? Grab that. Hold on. There you go. Sorry. He yanked the headset off. Downside target in any of your shorts, 31,141 is what you're looking for. What? What are you? What? What? Okay. Yeah, I don't really have any reason to sell NQ or to buy NQ with obviously what we're seeing. Again, Apple's trying to make an attempt, but I think Apple at this point, the profit taking from the open will happen and this starts to roll. We do have news, Tesla. So Tesla was getting hammered, right? We found out why Musk sold $4 billion worth of Tesla shares, presumably for the Twitter deal. And again, this kind of explains what was happening, right? Why it was moving, because he was selling the shares to pay for Twitter. A lot of money to be sold, but yeah, yeah. Question is, does he buy it all back again? Probably. So NQ again, I don't really have any reason to do it. I think it continues to go lower. If you are short 31, 141. YM, again, we talked about this Harry Potter. If we got a breakthrough, 9:15, 9:30. Yeah, it wasn't really set up. Again, initial spike, kind of went back up and grabbed it. Yeah, we talked about this one dropping down. I think first area where profit needs to be taken is right here. And again, could it 10:30 off of that one? I guess it could, but it's not my favorite levels there. I prefer the one that's tested down here a little bit below. But right now, again, 33, 355, consumer confidence not good. Also is going to add to this fuel to the fire on this one. So again, if you are short, good to go, right? Russell, kind of the same thing. Russell, 930. Russell pulled down, and it was a little bit lower than the zone. I would say that this one's probably not a setup, but again, kind of the same scenario, right? Um, what time is that? Yeah, 9 o'clock. So looking for the Globex low would have been right there. Opening and pushing below the Globex low at 9:15. This would have been a kind of a novice sell, right? Oh, we broke the Globex low, got to sell, and then immediate bear trap. Went up, everybody got stopped out. They cleared them all. It did the exact opposite. It said, well, there's our Globex high, got to buy, and then yanked them back down again. So I would say I'm also negative on the Russell. I think the Russell is justified to be lower. We talked about a short target down to 1871. I think Russell probably accelerates today, just based off of what we're hearing with supply chain and all the other factors with risk off. Russell will always have more risk based inside of it. So right now, Russell is technically the strongest. The little guy, supply chain shortages, inflation 2.5 times, and the Russell is the strongest, down at 0.64. All at the same time, where the VIX is much lower. What? Take this. I don't know what you want, buddy. You're not what? What? Here, you want to get on the ground? There we go. Here, here. Yeah. Buddy will be crawling probably in the next week, and he's going to be a handful. So having fun. But yeah, so again, rare scenario where the VIX is down 2% and all the indices are also in the red. Again, dollar also there, trying to rally back again, but we have less fear, less dollar strength. All the indices are down, even though we have less fear, right? We have things weird like Apple, who blew their numbers out of the water, record profits, and they are down. And then everybody's going to commodities, right? Um, Obviously minus silver, but silver has its own problems. And then obviously the cryptos. Again, everything is risk off, risk off, risk off. Market's preparing for a big weekend. Um, so yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity this week for Sunday night trades. Like I said, with where a lot of the currency pairs are, where a lot of the commodities are, with things. With the week that we have next week, I mean, if we go back and we'll go to Friday again just to close it out on this, this is a lot of red, right? This is a lot of red, high important. And what are they? Cash rate, raising interest rate, raising interest rate, raising interest rate, right? We have 3 interest rate rises next week. It's going to be a big week. So again, I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm curious to see this Thursday what OPEC has to say next week for oil. So I mean, man, three currencies raising interest rates. We have OPEC speaking. God knows what they're going to say. We have Europe trying to block. Europe is trying to block gas, right? Or oil. So much stuff going on. I think Sunday night again. Look to see where the markets have gapped to, and again, get yourself short for the week. I think dollar strength is going to be the name of the game. Although in reality, point 0.5 to me is a market disappointment. I think this is the one they can surprise with the points. They should raise with the 0.75 just to surprise the market to the top side. But again, they're not going to do a 0.25. I think the market either gets the 0.5 that they're asking for, they surprise to a 0.75. So again, short dollar, short silver, long the dollar. We talked about some of the other positions out there for next week, and short gold on Sunday night as well. So with that, let's go ahead and do the drawing for today, and we'll call it quits. Look at that, right at 10:30 today. Wow, nailed that one right on, even though I started a little bit late. So Debbie did win yesterday. Debbie did win yesterday. You guys can go back look at the recording, and it did print it in there. So I'm not, not being extra nice to Debbie. It just that's what it gave her before the power cut off. So, all right. So, all right. you guys another like 30 seconds. Debbie's like, oh, I gotta put in. No, 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 we're not gonna hit the power button. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. He's playing with the computer. It's like, oh, there's a button here. It's like, no, no, don't hit that button. No, Ernest, no, Ernest. Look at Debbie's winning, and Nero's still, busting Ernest's chops. So, all right, let's shut it down. Winner of the final. I can't believe I'm saying this. The final drawing in April, right? The final drawing in April. Can't believe that. I feel like we just started April, right? We're rolling into May. You know what they say about May, right? Go away in May, come back in September. Or sell in May, come back in September. Yeah, lining up to be great. Winner of today's drawing is. Oh, look at that. Debbie. Mark is complete. Debbie slams out 100 for the final day. Where's Debbie? Slams out 100 pip chips for the last day of May. Go Debbie. So, man, so Monday, Debbie is starting off, right? Monday, May 2nd, Debbie is going to try to start the month off with a 250 pip chip winner. So, yeah. Debbie's partying it up now. Partying it up. All right. So with that said, again, yeah, look at this. You're seeing, this was big before. Now it's down to, you're seeing yen strength come into this one as well. Yen strength is dominating here. Let me look at these real quick. Yeah, look at that. It's fighting this level right here. Fighting this level right here, and looking to drop. But again, found a little bit of supporters right below it. And again, this one as well. God, I'm hoping this holds. Hold this 130, baby. Hold this 130. I want to be able to take this short and then get long next week. So fun, fun, fun. And also this one as well. Yeah, come down a bit. Just come down a little bit more. So, all right, I'm out of here, guys. You have a good weekend. Good trading, everybody. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.